I grew up in and out of the hospital constantly. By the time I was 15, I have been told I had almost died approximately 5 times. 5. When you grow up hearing things like that and in that type of environment, for me, it made me appreciate life. It made me cherish the small moments. It made me cherish the friendships that I had. It made me enjoy each moment. I laughed a lot, laughed hard. I love very hard. And I'm just grateful every day that I get to wake up, because it's literally not promised to me the next day. I was picked on, bullied, called names everywhere I went, at school and in public, because my illness not only affected my internal body, but my external. It made me sad at times, but it didn't last long. I would just brush it off. My mother and grandmother always made sure they surrounded me with people that showed me they loved me. But how could you not love all this bubbly personality? Speaking of my mother, she was 15 when she had me. And I remember 2 major hospitalizations that I experienced. The first one was at 3 months old. She took me to Children's Hospital and they placed me in an incubator. And it's weird because I remember being in the incubator and looking at her. At that time, they told her they didn't know what to do for me because what I had was something normally blue-eyed, blonde-haired baby Scott. So I know that had to be awfully scary for her, being such a young mother. It was hard growing up in my family because nobody looked like me. They were light-skinned, beautiful fair hair, and then there was me. I was darker skin, nappy hair, eczema, and a big nose. So yeah, wasn't easy. Then the second admission I remember was when I was 15. My mom took me into the hospital, and I recall the doctor telling her, if you hadn't have brought her in tonight when you woke up in the morning, she probably would have been dead. Can you imagine being 15 and hearing that you could have died in less than 24 hours? That was the longest hospitalization for me, at 6 weeks. My friends couldn't come visit me because it was too far from my house. They had me on an adult unit versus a pediatric unit, so there weren't like any coloring crayons or come pet the dog, and I was so lonely and afraid. But this hospitalization was a defining moment for me. There was a technician that worked at the hospital that showed me the utmost kindness. He would just bring me lunch or call me on the phone and make sure that I was okay. And I truly believe that God speaks to us and through us. And during this hospitalization, I realized that the small things that you do in life can affect someone's life in such a positive way. Then I had my son Hassan. During my whole pregnancy, I constantly prayed that he wouldn't have the same health concerns that I did. Well, eventually both he and I were diagnosed with Job syndrome. Job syndrome basically means your DNA does not have the link to fight off staph infection, which staph is everywhere. When we were diagnosed, there were only 250 reported cases in the world. There is no cure, but there are preventive measures that you can take. Did you know that happiness was a medication? Well, with Job syndrome, it is especially. The happier you are, the healthier that you are. The less illnesses that you have, the less hospitalizations, the less recurrent hospital visits. So when I discovered this, I decided to make a change in my life and get rid of all the things that didn't bring me happiness and joy. So I finished nursing school and started my nursing career, and financially it met my needs, but it wasn't making me happy. So this is when Sugar and Spike was birthed. And Sugar and Spiked is my happy place. If you've ever been to a Sugar and Spiked event, then you know the first look on somebody's face after they take a bite is so exciting for me. For me to know that I can do something to bring you a moment of joy. This also keeps me healthy and happy so that I can take care of my children, like my daughter here. Sugar and Spiked is literally saving my life.
Order your sad happiness today!
Job syndrome is a condition that affects several body systems, particularly the immune system. The most common symptoms are eczema, increased susceptibility to infections, especially lung infections, and high levels of IgE. Other symptoms include problems in facial and dental development, curved spine, and high risk of bone fractures. While individuals with Job syndrome often have normal lifespans with intensive medical supervision, life-threatening complications from infections are a constant concern.